Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. So today is Veterans Day, the day that I'm recording this. I don't have any school or work or anything like that, so it's a great day that I have off. I have the whole day free and I just want to devote it to doing some yard cleanup. There's a lot of stuff to do in the yard, a lot of little things that I just want to clean up. The yard itself doesn't look all that bad, but I just want to show you guys what it is that I'm going to be doing, just kind of this time of year, a lot of things that you guys could clean up in your own gardens if you have similar plants to me or all that kind of stuff. So I just want to take a quick walk around the yard, show you the stuff I'm going to be working on, take care of it all, and then we'll show you everything nice and cleaned up at the end. The first thing I want to do is plant these echinacea somewhere. These are called Submarina Yellow. I took these from the garden center. You can see they still have some life in them, but I think these seeds, if there's any of these seeds left, these are going to come back, so I just have to figure out somewhere where I can plant these. Next up is this bed. I have these two butterfly bushes in the back. The echinacea I'm leaving up for the winter, so that way the birds have food for the winter time, but you can see that this could all be deadheaded, so I'm going to take care of this. And also, I just wanted to show you, look at how beautiful our neighbor's lilac is. It has beautiful fall color, like very bright. I don't know how else to describe that. So cool though. Another kind of small thing I want to do is I have this Brunner leaf that's right here. So you can kind of see that there's like a plant mixed in here. So it's right next to this heuchera, but I have another Brunner that I want to maybe kind of combine this with so it's a better plant. There's this one that's right here, but this is the front of the bed, like where the maple tree is. You can kind of see it like that. There's this Brunner, which doesn't look all that strong. It's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But I want to see if I can add the other one here and just make this a thicker overall plant for next year. I think the rest of this bed is pretty much fine. So I don't know if I should be moving, if I should be cutting these back for the winter or not. I'm going to have to look that up. But if I should, then I might do that as well. But moving over to this area, towards the front of the house, I planted this lamb's ear. This, I think I just want to cut back some of these other leaves that have kind of fallen to the ground. You can see some of the other ones look a lot better. So just kind of clean up this area a little bit. I'm not going to bother touching any of these leaves that are in the beds over here. I'm just going to leave them all. But I am going to clean up any weeds that are in the area, just so that way we don't have any problems with that. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to do was this. I mean, look at how beautiful this Dichondra Falls is. I really love that, a part of this whole container, but the begonias aren't looking too great. So I think what I might do is actually just get rid of the begonias and leave the Dichondra Falls in there. And I don't know how winter hardy it is, but I might as well just leave it for another couple weeks or so. The other thing over here, salvia I want to get rid of. The rest of these containers look okay. Our mums are still looking pretty good actually for now, so I'm not going to bother getting rid of those. So moving to the backyard, I have these little lime hydrangeas that I just planted not too long ago. I think what I'm going to do is most of my hydrangeas, or panicle hydrangeas, I don't prune them until late winter, early spring. These don't look all that great though, so I think I'm just going to cut these back now and really just thin out any of the spindly looking branches. This is another good example too. You can kind of see this one here. I'm going to cut back all these branches by quite a bit so that way they can grow a lot denser and more full for next year. And I think that these are going to look better. These bananas, they have seen a frost, so they're kind of done for the season. I think I'm going to make a whole different video on this because I want to try something different with these that I haven't done before. Those I'm not going to tackle in this video. I'll do a separate video for that. Now, moving up onto the deck over here, look at how beautiful this lantana is. It still looks amazing. We're supposed to get temperatures in kind of the high 20s in the next week or so. I don't know how well this lantana is going to do through all of that, but because it looks so pretty, I'm not going to bother getting rid of it. However, on the other side of the deck over here, we do have some verbena. There's one here, and then there's this one here as well. So I'm gonna get rid of those, get rid of the Dracaena spikes, and just fill it with soil. I might try to get some greens to put in here for the winter time. I'm not entirely sure yet if I wanna do that or not, but this is kind of time to go. But this vermilionaire plant that's right here, look at how beautiful this is. I don't wanna get rid of this plant either because it still looks really good. And, you know, worst case, I can just do that quickly on my own if these get nipped by the cold. But I'm just going to leave the stuff that looks good and just get rid of the stuff that doesn't look good. These bags here is probably one of the bigger projects for today. A lot of these bags, you can see they're kind of getting ripped. There's just kind of stuff everywhere. This is underneath our deck over here. If I kind of zoom out a little bit, you can kind of see the location of it. I originally did this in like late spring, early summer maybe, and a lot of this stuff is just decomposed. The other problem that I've run into is over here. In fact, you can see it very well. There is a beehive right there. Yeah, so bees, look at one's about to fly in right now. That I need to stay away from. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a scary thing for me. I don't want to touch the bees or just, do anything with them right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all the bags around that beehive. I'm hoping there's not any other beehives in that area, but I do need to check that. I think what I'm going to do is wait until it's really cold someday, because from my understanding, I think it's like maybe below 55 degrees, so the bees aren't really active. I'm going to do some more research. Don't take my word for it. I just, that's my initial thought that I have in my mind. So I think maybe those last couple bags I'll leave for a very cold day. I have a spray that I can use, and then I'm just going to throw out those bags because I don't want to try to compost a beehive or anything like that. If you guys have any other suggestions for me, please let me know, because I don't know the best way of taking care of that. But I don't want to get stung today, because that happened once where I opened up the bag and there was like 20 or 30 bees that just flew out all at once, and thankfully I ran away fast enough where it wasn't an issue, because I tried to tackle this project before and then I just got too scared to do anything else for that day, so that's why there's so many bags left. But I definitely want to clean up that space and just get it taken care of as much as I can. The last thing I want to tackle for today is this pile that we're coming up to over here. This pile is just a whole bunch of like sticks and twigs and stuff like that we've cleaned up in the yard from storms we've gotten and all that kind of stuff. So as much of this that I can bag up today as possible would be great, but I doubt I'm going to be able to finish this entire thing. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I'm going to be working on today. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning right now. It's supposed to rain today. We're getting the remnants of Nicole, I think is the name, that storm that just went through Florida. So we're supposed to get some rain this afternoon into tomorrow morning. So I figured all this stuff would just be good to take care of and get rid of today. All those bags that I create, compost bags, I'm going to cover them with a tarp for today so that way they don't get too wet, and then I'll put them out after that. But I just want to take today as a nice cleanup day, because we're supposed to see some really cold temperatures in the next week. Highs in the 40s, lows in the high 20s to low 30s. So I'm not going to really want to be working in that nearly as much as today, where it's 61 right now. It's supposed to be almost 70 today and even warmer tomorrow. So I'm just going to take advantage of this warm weather. All right, with all that said, let's get started. Okay, so after a long days of work, it's about almost 4 o'clock now. I just want to show you everything that I had worked on. Alright, so first up are these butterfly bushes. I just cut back the flower heads. I'm going to end up cutting these back again in the spring, but I just did that more for aesthetic purposes. But they look cleaned up now for the fall and for the winter. The brunnera that I had over here by this heuchera, I moved over here. So it kind of just looks like one plant anyways, but a couple of the leaves that were over there are now that second plant. Moving over this way, towards the beds over here, I just cleaned up this lamb's ear. So this looks a little bit prettier, just those leaves that were in the front. So that'll start to fill out quite a bit for next year. I have this pot that I did up with some winter greens. I took out that salvia and did the greens. Once the mums are kind of done, we're gonna put Christmas trees in there, but I actually might put greens or something underneath now. I hadn't done that before, but I might kind of repeat this type of thing. And all this stuff I actually just got from our yard, from all the backyard, but just different evergreens. This is a barberry. This is from the weeping birch, so I think it's really pretty. I cut back this gara here, just the spent bloom stalks. Nothing crazy with that. Now, this here, this is kind of funny. So I cut back the begonias, and I literally just cut them back. I didn't even take anything out of the pot because I knew that I would mess with the root ball. This is still looking really pretty. However, I actually cut one of these metal chains while I was doing this. So right here, I think this is where I did it. You can see like where I had to like tie it back on. I don't know. It was it's actually really funny that I did that. But you can see that it still looks beautiful with just the dichondra So I'm happy about that. That actually would look pretty with just the dichondra next year. I don't know, just a thought. This was kind of the bigger project for the day. So there's 3 bags that are left. I stacked up all the chairs here, and you can see what this looks like. Everything over here that you see, I kind of just spread everything that was left over that I thought would be able to compost, or really was just dirt itself. So a lot of this is really just soil, and then just like a few groups of like leaves and that kind of stuff that'll compost over the winter time. So next up we'll be cleaning up like all these bricks and everything. But again, remember that there's this here. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye for this beehive and take care of that when it gets a little bit colder. I'm not even gonna bother going back there. That pile I started to take care of, but I just had so many other things I wanted to do that pile wasn't the highest on my priority, so that will be for another day. Now, this whole bed that you see here is not technically our property, but our neighbors will allow us to just kind of clean it up and just take care of things as we need to. But they like to keep things as more of a natural look. So I took out some like invasive weeds and that kind of stuff that were over here. And I planted these 3 echinacea that were here. I got these from the garden center. And then I also kind of added these rocks in. I figured maybe as I find more rocks throughout the yard, I can just kind of continue this on. Not necessarily make like a rock wall, but just kind of some sort of design. And there's something really pretty behind there too. Also, I apologize if there's a lot of background noise. We live in a busy neighborhood. There's always people outside. There's always planes going by. There's just a lot going on. So I try to work on the audio as much as I can, but there is always a lot happening. So I just work with what I have. Okay, and then the last thing I did today was I left this vermillionaire pot the way that it was. I actually ended up moving the chair over this way, but I did take out all of the verbena that was in these containers, and I filled it up with wintergreens. Kind of the same thing that I did with the other pot. I actually did these 2 first, and I got that inspiration for the other pot. But again, just stuff that I got from around the yard. Like this right here, I don't know exactly what this is. It came from right there. So I just used what I had in the yard, and I think it turned out pretty well. The only thing I didn't show is I might end up spraying wilt stop on those winter greens that I put on, just so that way they hopefully don't wilt too much, especially because it's only the beginning to middle of November, so I can honestly leave them in here till like March if I really wanted to. I might have to replenish them maybe after Christmas or something like that, but I'm gonna leave them in here for now, spray them with wilt stop, and we're just gonna leave them for the rest of the season. Those were my garden chores that I got taken care of for today. I hope you guys are taking care of your garden chores as well. Let me know what you need to work on in your yard. What stuff you are excited for, what stuff you're not excited for, because there was some stuff I was not excited for today. But you know what? It feels really good just to get things done and get things taken care of and wrapped up. So that way next season we can just start off with a bang. All right, besides that, I hope you guys liked this video, and I will see you in the next one.